Welcome to the Meta Podcast, episode 77. Two knobbly knees, 77. Marco, welcome to the pod. How are you? How's your week?
Hello, I'm doing well. Nice intro, that.
Thanks.
I'm not sure how many listeners will know that reference. Hopefully a lot. But now I've been doing good.
Yeah, straight from the bingo halls of
Blackpool,
white,
Pleasure
yeah,
Beach.
of Blackpool and elderly England. Yeah, I'm sure the listeners are right at home. How's your DotA been? Anything to report? Good times?
To be honest, for the most part, it's been very good times. I had a very good weekend of ranked gaming. Like 4 ranked wins on the bounce, I think it was one day, which is pretty phenomenal. And then this week, it's a message we've said before, I feel, but this week's unranked games has just been the most bipolar, like too friggin' easy or just a waste of time. Like the wins have been close to boring because it's too easy. Yeah. And then the losses have just been, I mean, I abandoned one of them because it was so bad.
Yeah. One
of the anti-mage, when our team was just like, the off-lane duo we had were about 0-20 in 10 minutes, and it was just so frustrating.
Yeah.
And then what was the Ricky one?
The Ricky game was when I was Void Spirit mid, and I got first blood like 6 minutes in, and we had off-lane... The off-lane duo were these like heavy roaming heroes.
It was
that were
Pugna and Axe off-lane, but we had a Grimstroke who jungled from minute 0. That was that of a loss. So, it literally Grimstroke jungling from minute 0. I'm against a Shaker bottom lane. Pudge kind of was just roaming completely uselessly. Axe completely just fed, and it was the most pointless 30 minutes ever. So it's felt like every unranked loss has been just so pointless, and every unranked win has been too easy. Yeah. So a bit of a weird week.
Yeah, I totally concur with what you've just said because I've been in most of those unranked games.
Yeah.
They are just, I don't know. There's something to be said about matchmaking. I feel like maybe Valve needs to take a look again at the formula, because I do think that a lot of the stompiness can be predicted just by the difference in skill and grades. Like I remember the Ricky game and one of the other games where we got stomped. We were against a team full of like Divine 5s, Divine 4 level, and on our team we had like me, who's a good chunk lower than Divine 5, Nick as well, again like a good chunk less than Divine 5, and I say our random 5th was also like Ancient 4 or something. So
that's a rough game.
Yeah, it's always going to be hard.
I mean, the ranked games were good, and we are talking unranked, and the higher your average MMR in unranked, it's going to get a bit loopier. So, it's not going to be the case for everyone, but they've been my games this week. Wait, go on.
I was just going to say, it's like, what have we learned? Ranked Dota is where the best games happen. Like, we already knew that, so...
Yeah. I need to get back on that this weekend. But I'm interested to hear about Adam, because I go on Dota Buff, like, for 10 seconds in the morning, I just see greens on Adam's profile.
Yeah, Green Gaming.
Yeah, man.
Gaming. The one good thing about that Excel spreadsheet is you can just highlight your whole column of games, and it'll just do the math for you really fast. Never knew this, but over the last 80 matches, I have like a 61% win rate. I think it's like 52-30 or something like that.
Sproiking your way to immortal.
And liching. Lich, Enchantress. Support the support pool right now is Snapfire, Lich, and Enchantress. Sometimes I busted out a Crystal Maiden because it's like a couple of heroes will get banned and then they'll first pick Lich. And it's like, okay, I have to go off to comfort. But yeah, it's mostly...
Honestly, your days of randoming, it's like, you can still whip out a random hero and get a W. Like, I remember you won a game on Clinks, like, last week or something, like a ranked game, and I was like, how is that possible? If I ever pick Clinks, it's just like teams abandoning 3 minutes in, because I'm just like level 1 mid. Just how does my hero work? Yeah.
It's like the only hero I can't get a win on is Disruptor, really. It's like I have a random Spirit Breaker support win, I have a Enchant or a Grimstroke win, an AA win. It's like all these one-off things I'm actually winning with. And then the ones that I stick to, I'm winning with as well. I got Divine 5 this week. Yes. And I've won a couple games since then, or held steady, so I'm at like 30% right now.
Whoa.
30%, so
Whoa.
It's like 5 games away.
Adam, I'm prepared to boost.
It's not 5. It's less than 5 games because
I'm getting 15 per. So 4 would put me at 90.
Oh, I thought you got more than 15 these days with the 30 MMR plus minus. But you're the. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen a percentage, so I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm getting 15 per, and I've every time I win, it's like the new highest my MMR's ever been. I'm at 48 or 5480 right now. 5480. So seems to be Immortal is at about 5600.
Yeah, that's hype, man. That's very hype. You're 1,000 MMR higher than me. Oh, feels bad. 1,000.
I'll say the other thing is I'm still randoming Brood, and I just checked on DotA Buff. You can actually sort by your random matches, and it is 4 out of my last 32. So it's a 1 in 8 chance if I press the random button, I get Brood. It's pretty strong.
I swear that increases to like 50% if you're playing with me in party.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've been in like 3 of those 4 games. At least 2 for definite. Yeah.
Yeah, I played a Brood that went over an hour, so we got tier 5 items.
Nice.
Very fun.
Which one? Oh, you said Woodland Striders, right?
I had Woodland Striders. Not the best on the Brood. I gave the Apex to our Ricky, and then our Underlord had a Mirror Shield, and then our Wyvern had a Ballista. Ballista was kind of a throwaway item.
My games, I can't even remember. I mean, you were talking about how nice it is to have a spreadsheet that does maths. I think it sort of typifies my ranked experience over the last, say, month or so, that I've stopped recording games on my Excel spreadsheet. That's how dark it's got. Although, to be fair, I haven't played a lot of rank. I haven't really gone up or down in the last month, so I can't really remember if I played much.
You need to unhide your profile. I can't check you out on DotA Buff.
Yeah, but then Meepo gets banned every game, and I need Meepo to win to MMR. If Meepo's not in the pool, it's just hard times, and I've got to pick actual heroes.
Void Spirit yesterday, and I got Ogre Magi and supported you, and you got the Divine that the other team dropped.
Yes, got a Divine Rapier on Void Spirit. That was fun. Marco played a Void Spirit yesterday or the day before or something. It was yesterday, and it was like a really sick Void Spirit, and you got like a 20-minute Bloodthorn or something, right? 21-minute Bloodthorn?
I went BKB first, but after Chrysalis and then Bloodthorn.
Well, Stan got a 22-minute Bloodthorn.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, well, you put in a Void Spirit performance, and then I was inspired, and so when I played with Adam in a Duoku, I did it with the Bloodthorn first build with the Chrysalis. I hadn't done that before.
Yeah,
it's quite fun. And then I ended up going Rapier, but before I finished my Rapier, I picked up a Rapier off the enemy team, so I was about to have double Rapier. So that was very fun. The blow up style of Void Spirit.
Your 22-minute Bloodthorn into 26-minute Yules.
Yeah, I gotta get that Yule Scepter. Can't get Maledicted. That was the only thing that was killing me that game. Needed to dodge the endless cask bounce from the Witch Doctor between the 2 targets. But yeah, beyond that, not a lot to report. I have played 2 games of Slardar, which segues us very nicely into our topic. We're a bit late to the party on this one. This is kind of a menace of pubs at the moment, I would say. 8th in popularity, 55.8% win rate. So the hero's kind of crushing. At the divine level, 56.6% win rate and a 23% pick rate. That's huge.
That's disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. So it would really be wrong if we didn't talk about this fella, this fish. First things first, he's basically offlane exclusively. Do you see this hero popping up as a 4 or a 1? Or it's basically just like first pick offlane kind of style at the moment, if not banned?
90% of the time I've seen it be safe lane. Gork's played it safe lane. I know. I think offlane is where it goes. I mean, maybe you could do it as a 4, be a different play style, but I think 3 is definitely kind of just the home.
Yeah, definitely. Hero's kind of got it all. Strong kill potential in lane.
Multiple stuns,
yeah. Minus armor, obviously, we know that with his ult. True sight is good.
Roche potential.
Roche potential, a lot of flexibility with the skill build, a lot of flexibility with the item build, so much lockdown.
6 armor at level 1, that's very high.
Yeah. Strong laner, right? I mean, you would agree?
Yeah.
Very strong. You'd be hard-pressed to name a lane counter to Slardar. He can lane against almost anyone.
Yeah.
1v1 or 2v2 or like try. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely. A very strong hero for sure. First things first, I suppose a good way to start off the discussion is skill build, because I played Slardar twice, and I couldn't decide between W and E in both games. Instinctively, I felt like E, but I actually think W is the more popular choice, right, for level 1?
Yeah, I think so. When I was doing offlane games, it was either Doom or Slardar, and I feel like I was playing Slardar wrong, and I was still winning because he was just really strong, and I would just get the E and not really think about it. But I think the W is better at level 1. It's got a stun, and then it slows for a little bit after, and you can just keep hitting along with your support as well. And then it also lets you get the range creeps.
Yeah.
You can use it for the damage.
You can... The runes, obviously, is where I think of... Obviously, if it secures a rune, that probably tips it over to being worth skilling. Do you think there's sometimes worth still going the E route if you think... Like, what would make you think E would be better?
I don't think there's a world where you get E level 1 unless there's some crazy, like, you're doing... I don't think you would ever.
It's only if they're like, you guys are all just like hitting one another at the rune, just because you got to get 4. There's no creeps for you to prep
to get
that early. So you just got to have this extended, we just hit each other type of fight.
A lot of these guides, quite a few of them do have E level 1. I think it's, if the runes aren't contested, like they just let you have the runes or something on your side, and then you go to lane, it can be quite helpful because one thing is it's actually really easy to CS. If you don't mind pushing the creep wave in, if you just hit a creep 3 times, you've got this huge extra damage. It's like a 60 extra bonus damage and a bash. That's guaranteed CS. So I think that's one thing to consider. Obviously, you could make a similar argument with the Slitherine Crush that it's an 8-second cooldown, but it's very mana intensive. You can probably secure 1 or 2 range creeps.
I don't even know if it is mana intensive. It's 80 mana.
Slardar doesn't have much mana though.
Most strength hero stuns cost like 110, 125. You know.
Yeah.
It's pretty mana efficient, especially if you have a mango.
Yeah. Not as mana efficient as Bash of the Deep, though, being free, of course.
Let's say rest in peace to Bash. Back when Slardar used to just have Sprint, Slitherine Crush, Bash, and Amplify Damage. He is probably the winner of least amount of words for his 4 skills.
Oh, yeah.
And now they had to add Bash of the Deep and Corrosive Haze, which is the same amount as Amplify Damage, but that one, Amplify Damage, just so straightforward to the point of what it does.
What's Viper's? Oh, Corrosive Skin. I don't like Corrosive Haze. just call it amplified damage. Like, Slardar's a basic kind of man. He doesn't need a fancy ultimate name.
It should just be sprint, stun, bash, amp.
Yeah.
Like, or minus armor. Just
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Just going in skill builds pre-level 6. I mean, the whole of Slardar's skill build is very fluid, but just thinking pre-level 6, where do these points come in? Is it very much assess your lane situation and see what's best, or is there a specific skill you want to be maxing, or can you just put a couple in one and then max something else? Like, what are the things that you're looking for in a game that make you decide, I'll put my second point in Guardian Sprint, or I'll be 0-1-1, or I want to be 1-1-1, or, because you can really go any way with it. In these guides, they have all manner of different skill builds by level 6.
I would have thought you'd want to put 3 into your bash. That's what I would naturally do.
And that's what I was doing. I was going like 1-1-3.
Yeah.
And I would think that's fine. It's probably standard. I think 2-1-2 is fine.
Yeah.
I think I'm big. I think I'm big now on the 1-1-1 at 3, just so you can chase. I mean, 4 is a pretty long time to wait on getting the sprint. It is like 20% move speed. It's really strong to chase.
I can see 1-1-1 being justified. I feel like you probably should hold your points. I feel like it's one of those where you could get a lot of value from holding the points a little bit. For example, if that engagement happens at level 3 and you're going to need that extra movement speed boost to chase a hero down, then there's that point coming to value. But maybe the lane's a bit not stale, but passive and kind of staying in the same place, and you want that bit of extra bash damage.
Or you have your 4 to help you.
Or you don't
control
need
somebody.
Don't need the movement speed, maybe. But 1-1-3 is always going to be very solid. And then, to me, if I think, do I put more in my sprint or do I go greedily more damage on the crush? Maybe that depends can I get a fast phase win lace because I'm super farmed, or maybe it's a more equal game and I need more levels in sprint to give me that speed.
I think the consensus is the secondary max of the sprint. I've also seen you just leave 3 points in the bash. I've seen that too. You can go. He's kind of like Bat Rider, the old Bat Rider, where you'd have this you would throw a point into everything, and you just kind of cycle through and be like 1-1-1, 2-2-2, 3-3-3. Like, you can do that. I think the least value skill to keep putting points in is the crush.
Yeah.
You kind of just need it to stun, and then you're just kind of amping the damage and then the movement slow period. But I think you make up for that with extra movement speed from the sprint. It also kind of depends if you have the Orb of Venom in lane too. If you have that, I think the sprint is very value.
Yeah, I think the sprint is definitely being realized as a very strong spell. People are starting to get 2 points in it early, get a second point at 5, so if you really want. I've definitely seen that, and I certainly have seen it maxed before, being the first skill to be maxed, like Adam mentioned, leaving the bash on 3 points and then going full sprint and then going back for a bash and then Slitherine Crush. Obviously, you're taking your ult at all levels. That's a no-brainer. In terms of other early game decisions, we mentioned boots. I think I've played it with phase and treads, and I personally did much prefer it with treads. You're a bit tankier, and you're already fast with sprint. Yeah. So I think treads would be the way to go. I wouldn't recommend
treads.
Phase.
Gives you more bashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would that way.
Glove of Haste might be the strongest item in the game.
Yeah. It's pretty
400 gold for that much attack speed. Builds in the treads, so pretty natural.
And then I feel like you can go the Bracer Bassi route if you want, or you can go the Buckler Bassi route if you want, or you can go looking towards treads, or you can go Bracers and then if you go 2 bracers, say, I think it's much more reasonable for you to then reach out for the blink. If you go bracer, Bassi, then you're kind of looking more towards Vlad's, perhaps then maybe towards like a halberd kind of thing. You can obviously go blink if you want, but maybe like halberdy, pipey kind of route. Would you see it that way, or do you think that you can go bracers into pipe and you can go Vlad's into blink, and it's really, there's no real direction, it's just what item best suits in the moment?
I think you can go best. That's why I say I was just building this hero. I was going like Echo Saber. So it's like, I feel like that's so bad. You just need treads and bracers, and then I feel like blink is so value. Maybe you're in a team where you don't need a blink. I think that's pretty rare, though. I think you're the guy that wants to go in. But after blink, the world's kind of your oyster.
Yeah, certainly. You
can go Vlad, you can go pipe, you can go straight BKB if you have to be that guy. Or I mean, I think later in the game the Ags is giga good, but I don't think it's a second item after blink. It's like a fourth item. Yeah, it's so strong.
Marco, you're a man that likes musical instruments, drums specifically. Is Slardar a drums hero at all?
Instinctively, I would say no.
Because you want to just have the attack speed from treads, and then you just want blink because it's better than being fast. Yeah,
I feel like the utility of drums from that, it comes from that attack speed or active, but
right.
I don't think obviously it's very good value if you use it, but I would way rather he have a blink, or he'd be building towards like a pipe, or even maybe not a blast, but like a pipe or some other utility item. I don't really feel like he wants to sink a lot of gold into drums. And with the point we've made before about the stats gain from drums being pretty weak, I know blink doesn't give you any stats, but apart from blink, all the items that Slardar wants to get are going to buff him up as well, which is what he likes. Because he's in the mix so much. Drums doesn't really fit that bill, so I wouldn't really like to see that. I don't know if that's ever been built.
Yeah, I'm playing Slardar. Then before we say this, the standard pub Slardar is probably going to be like treads, bracer, blink. I think that's what most people are going to play. When you're playing that gameplay, I almost said when you're playing that lifestyle. When you're playing that kind of game, how do you want to approach it? Do you want to kind of be AFK farming pre-blink and then just go ham straight away, or do you think you could try and get involved beforehand, or what's really your aim, do you think?
I think the aim would be that before blink, look to crush the lane you are in, and ideally you have that +1 to help you do that. But he is probably one of the strongest offlaners, and particularly if you're against a melee safe lane carry, you can just absolutely annihilate them like no other hero, and just totally shut down the enemy safe lane. Look to get that tower. You can be a presence in the bot lane. You're a tanky guy, you've got sprint, you're a hard kill, so you can be forward on the map. You can be hitting creeps, pushing creeps, farming the enemy woods, and then I think you hit that blink time in, and like we've said before in this kind of meta, once you get blink, you've got to get work done with it. There's no reason you can't get work done once you get blink. And then maybe it's up to the flow of the game, like how much you need to put your foot on the pedal versus how much you should be farming. That's going to be game dependent. But yeah, I think before blink, just crush the lane you're in, and keep it in mind that you do really want to get a good time in, but you also want to just smash a lane, and that really should be your objective. I don't think you need to be fancy with rotations pre-blink.
Yeah. Do you think this hero plays at all from behind? It strikes me as a hero that's very grim to play from behind.
I was thinking, what would make this hero go behind? I thought, okay, could a Razor in the lane beat this guy? Like,
I mean, I played a Slardar game that went south. I can't remember who we were laning against. Lone Druid, I think, or LC.
Lone Druid is one of the few that can deal with it pretty well.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find this game. This is pod dead time. Let's see if I can find it right.
I don't think there can't be that many heroes which do really well against the Slardar, because you're such a fat hero in the lane with a +1. You can really man fight most heroes, and say you're level 4 with a 1/1/2. If you're getting a bash and a bash, and you're able to get, say, a second bash hit, the damage output is very high.
So it was a Weaver Venge lane. I mean, I don't think we played well, to be fair. I don't think that's representative of how a Weaver Venge lane should face against Slardar. But, yeah. The thing with Slardar is that he's a very baiting kind of hero. It's already been mentioned a little bit. If you have a stick, it's amplified even more so. But just because of the way his skills work, the bash is a stun and a lot of extra damage. So if you're in a man fight and it looks like it's going bad for you, they might have, say, 20% HP to your 10. If you're coming up towards a bash, it's like you can just debate heroes so easily. Sprint as well, it's free. You're about to die, you just sprint away. You can play on the edge really easily, and Slardar's a hero that plays so well on the edge, particularly in lane trades.
You also can just live behind their tower. You can dive because you have so much mana or so much armor, and then you have sprint to get away.
Yeah,
I don't. Think
also, I mean, do you remember when sprint used to take extra damage?
Yeah, I was going to say that
when you had sprint, it took like 14% extra damage or something, or 10 maybe. But
yeah,
now it's just like free.
That's on Mega Buff. I can't even remember when that happened, but I was reading Dota Buff just now thinking, doesn't sprint take more damage? But no, yeah, not the case.
Yeah. I'm thinking of that lane I played as Slardar with Adam, where Adam was Ench. Ench, obviously a high damage pos 4 when it can just stand and hit. Especially when you have Adam's godly unit control from the neutrals. And it's just, it's such a bully lane. Any kind of damage dealing 4, ranged 4. Slardar just plays on the edge at the front. Every time I get low, I just sprint and disengage. Come back when my W's off cooldown, use it, hit, bash. It's like, you can go in again on 10% HP comfortably if you've got a stun and like 2 procs left on your bash. It's like, you can do anything. It doesn't matter how much HP you have.
I feel like it would be hard to be a Slardar and lose the lane. I feel like you'd have to have your partner fuck off and just let you get 1v2'd. Because if it's a 2v2 and you're both kind of aware of what's going on and not tapped out of Dota, and they start going on you, Slardar's like, I'll go on you then as well. And if you've got position 4 that isn't a totally useless hero and you can make a fight happen, then chances are Slardar's going to bash and beat you in that man fight. So I really feel like it would be hard for a Slardar to struggle in the lane if he's got a partner with him. And then, like you say, your disengage is great. You're tanky, so you're going to be doing well anyway. And so, so in the lane, just focus on getting your creep. Obviously, I think off laners probably don't prioritize farming enough, but then, it's farm. And if an opportunity comes, or if the enemy team is like, we're going to try and poke you a bit too much, if you've got a 4 there that can initiate an engagement with a slow or a stun, as most 4s can do, and then if you're the Slardar that can get that bash hit on them, it's just a kill's going to happen. Not many combos could stand up to a Slardar +1. If you're able to get that, if you're able to kind of get into punching range, if you know what I mean. Say you're abandoned and it's 1v2 and you're against 2 ranged heroes, then you're dead, but your partner shouldn't let that happen. Yeah.
No, I would agree. Maybe last point on Slardar, and this is kind of... I just remembered something else I was going to say. Another thing that's an interesting buff, we talked about sprint buffs. I believe, when they gave Slardar this weird river bonus movement speed, because now he's an absolute race car in the river. When they first added that in, it was only at level 4 on the Guardian sprint that you suddenly became like a jetpack water ski man in the river. Now it's all levels you get a bonus. 25% at level 1, scaling up to 94 at level 4. You literally... I mean, everyone knows... You're so fast in the river, and that's actually quite big sometimes. Just being able to rotate through lanes is almost faster than a TP if you're near the river. Why TP mid when you can just get there in literally about 1 second? That opens up a lot of options for the hero.
It is also funny how that 10 movement speed buff in 7.24. Like happens with a lot of heroes that are good, but just miss that tiny little crumb of power. You give this little 10 movement speed buff, and now Slardar in the lane can be that bit more dominant, can get on heroes that bit better, can chase that bit better, can escape that bit better, and now he's uber relevant in OP tiers of statistics, really. Largely from this 10 movement speed buff, which is, well, maybe not large. Well, it's a funny one.
It's just a bunch of little buffs or big buffs. Put them all together.
Slowly creeping up, yeah.
I mean, Bash being charge based or hit based, that's huge. Like, you don't even have to worry about proccing. It's just like, I know this is going to happen, so you can play around it so much easier.
Yes.
Chain stun.
Prep. You just prep a stun. Like in the mid game when you got blink, hit creeps 3 times, and then blink, hit again, then stun, hit again. It's like you're almost guaranteed a triple stun. Like, it's very, very strong. The final point I wanted to make, and this is quite a difficult one to answer, I understand, but Slardar in mid-game, late-game situations in fights, who are you looking for? Is it always supports, always just get on the back lines, cause havoc?
Yeah.
Would you say, as a good rule of thumb? Okay.
Yeah.
BKB, kill the supports.
Yeah. They are seriously not... They can't do anything unless they've got an not E-Blade, what's it called? Ghost Scepter. Very smart pickup. Very smart. Force Staff not going to save you. Glimmer not going to save you because you're going to get revealed. Scepter is a bit of an issue. But even then... You could probably speed over to the next support in about 1 second. Yeah. BKBs run in, just slap them. With Amp, you're seriously 3 hitting supports as well. So yeah, clean up supports and then control the carries.
Yep. And I'll say, besides the obvious that you have really great Roche potential, not only from Corrosive Haze, but also because you're just constantly, stunning and bashing the Roche, who's not even really doing that much damage to you. You can also take Ancients really early as Slardar, starting at level 6. You just haze the big Ancient, and then destroy it. And oh look, neutral item. Oh look, another neutral item. Oh look, like you can be that guy on the team, especially since Ancients are on your side of the map, right? Because you're the offlaner, so you can just like cycle in. It's like right next to I'm thinking of Dire, just right next to the tower. Just like swoop in, take that really fast. 3 neutrals drop, give them to the team, swing back through.
Yeah, the Roche point, anyone that can enable Roche is like just automatically a good hero. What I think will be interesting to see is in the next patch where they touch Slardar up, because obviously this guy is going to get nerfed to somewhere, but it'd be interesting to see where Ice Frog places that nerf. Is it going to be on mana cost somewhere, or just the numbers of Amp, or is it going to be the bash damage, or the bash, something to do with bash, or is it going to be like Sprint's going to get nerfed, or is it his W strength gain, armor? It'd be really interesting to see where it lands, because I think it'll only be like 1 or 2 max little nerfs somewhere, but it'll turn out to be enough to knock it down to reasonable levels of success.
Yeah. Final point on Slardar that I just want to throw in there. Don't sleep on Solar Crest on this hero, because just looking at the win rates per item, and obviously at the top of the win rates are like the super luxury items, Eye of Skadi, Rapier. If you ever have these items, you're just winning the game already. Butterfly. The only real notes here is Aghanim Scepter, which is kind of a luxury item, the Puddle, but not totally. That has a 73% win rate when built on Slardar. And then the next commonly built item that isn't just pure luxury, I would say, is Solar Crest, and that has a 68% win rate. That's very strong. Obviously, minus armor synergizes with other minus armor. So just offensively, Solar Crest has great potential, even more Roche potential, even more Ancient potential, whatever. Although by the time you've built this 4K item, I suppose Ancients aren't that important. Also, it's nice just to amp up a carry. I used it a lot on a Juggernaut, my POS 1 in the game that I played, and it felt good. Solar Crest active on a carry is really nice. It gives you something to do when you're standing behind them rather than just sort of waiting to initiate with your blink and stuff. You can do that as well, where you just keep buffing. So you're adding net worth.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a great item. It's a really great item. Do you remember at TI when we were doing TI pods and everyone was just building Solar Crest every game?
Yeah.
I think the item's good.
Definitely will be overlooked in pubs.
It's minus 28 armor between the two.
Yeah, that's crazy. Talk about nuking supports. If you ever get Amplifying Crest on a support, they're dying in stun duration.
Bash them. I think they probably take like 500 damage.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my PSA is consider Solar Crest if you're ever unsure.
I've got a final interesting PSA.
Yep.
Reading the notes section on Gamepedia, it says the buff that you get from Ags when in water only applies when he's in physical contact with the water. So if you get moved vertically, say by a toss, the bonus is lost until you land back in the water.
Wow, that's interesting. What about Torrent? Because you're technically being moved up, but you're also still in water. Yeah,
that is a fantastic question. That's a Gaben question.
Yeah, that's why I'm a host. That's why I've got a pod.
That is smart.
Smiley face. Well, I'll follow up that nice question with just a grief, and that's Pugna. The hero is 83rd in popularity and has a 48% win rate. So from Slardar to Pugna. I do think, though, in Divine Plus... Yeah, there he is. In Divine Plus, he has a 52.3% win rate. So much, much, much better. First of all, why do you guys think that is? That Pugna's got such a high win rate, much higher win rate in Immortal and Divine?
Positioning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably solely positioning.
Use of Decrep as well is
Yeah.
only going to be used optimally at high levels, because it's like the OG True Sight. Decrep on that Pugna was what made Pugna broken in the grand finals, and people probably don't realize that it can do so much work in the right circumstance.
Yeah. The hero is an insane hero both ways, offensively and defensively. And I feel like you only open the door to the defensive potential of Pugna at Divine, and well, maybe even Immortal. I think Pugna's below Immortal, below Divine perhaps. Just play him offensively. It's very seldom that I ever life drain heal someone when I play Pugna, but pros do that stuff all the time. So yeah, that's why he's got such a high win rate, or some of the reasons why. This hero can be, 3-4-2?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Back in the day, could be played as a 1, but we're not in those days anymore. But 2 through 4 sounds right.
Yeah. I guess I'll kick things off because Pugna is kind of like my favourite hero at the moment, I suppose. I play it from a mid perspective. Against heroes that don't have a way of nuking range creeps effectively, I feel like Pugna's a free win in the lane. Never go blast at level 1 unless you're against a hero, say, like, I don't know, Lena, who can nuke a range creep super easily. Maybe you go blast. Even then, I still don't think you do. And it's like OD. Wait for the range creep, either yours or theirs, to be low. Decrep, free CS, free deny. Repeat. This spell is 60 mana on a 15-second cooldown. That's every wave. It's just great times. If they ever leave the lane, you're basically doing half HP to a tower, guaranteed with Never Blast. If they try and make a rotation at level 6, say, you're going to get your tower super easy. Like, this is a tempo hero, would you say? Or is he more of a specialist sort of pushing hero from the mid lane?
A bit of both. I definitely think tempo, because I think this guy drops off when the whole game starts getting fat with gold. But I think before people's mid-game items start kicking in, and before they then are able to counter him or get on top of him, he's doing so much damage from so far away. Like, you get your ether, this guy is nuking from afar. So tempo in that way, like also stay the push in. That's just kind of natural part of his kit, I guess, that he should be looking to push down at least tier 1s in a reasonable time. And then after that point, it's not his primary objective, but obviously it's nice.
Yeah, he definitely has sieging potential with the Nether Ward and the Q. Everyone knows that about Pugna.
It's definitely
so
helpful.
Nice.
And some, like we spoke about in that episode with what's the optimal team lineup, if you've got a 5-man lineup, you do most times need to have some pushing capability. And probably unrecognized is that even late game, mid game, Pugna can be that pushing force that if you say choking the enemy team, choking the map, but you don't have some troll warlord or lifestealer to stand on a ramp and push, he can provide that, just whittle away slowly. You can't stop him never blasting your buildings away. So it is nice, that aspect of him, but definitely after tier 1s, it's not primary objective to push.
Yeah. We mentioned the positions of Pugna. If we take out POS 4, so we just the 2 core roles, offlane and mid, would you say, Adam, that you only really want to pick him mid when you've got a greedy damage dealing offlane, and you only want to pick him offlane when you've got a greedier damage dealing mid and POS 1? He's kind of like do you see him as kind of like a support that you're giving farm to? Almost like a Winter Wyvern POS 3 sort of thing? Or do you think it's not that simple?
No, I think he's good enough on his own to justify the position.
Yeah.
But you can't have like spellcasters as your, 1 through 3.
Yeah.
You need at least some beef from the rest of the cores. Somebody's got to stand in front. Otherwise, I think Pugna just becomes too hard to position.
Yeah.
You need somebody to distract, and that lets you get your long range life drains. Because if you get gone on as a Pugna, you are pretty not tanky. You might be the least tanky.
Yeah, if they can damage you, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, control is what this hero wants the most. Pugna's got no lockdown, but has high damage potential. Life drain, you could, with enough control, do a hell of amount of damage if they can't get away. Like, defensively as well, you want to be able to control, keep the enemy back away from you. Partly, positioning comes into it, but you want to be able to control them away so that you can get stuff done. I think if you look at games where Pugna has blown up, his allies are able to offer that bit of lockdown that helps him catch or gap close a hero and blow them up, or hold them in place long enough for him to kill them, because he's not going to blink, and he's never going to get a blink and start his magic damage output. He's just going to waddle up and do it. And if you've got that one extra hero to hold someone in place or slow them down, or to just help close that distance to then enable the Pugna, he's going to do massive work. So I think control is a massive component you want. I don't think on his own he's always going to work.
I wouldn't say he waddles up. I think he sprints up because he's super fast. But everything else I agree with.
Insanely fast, yeah.
BOT's windlace, he must be getting like 480 or something, which is true. So yeah, you don't need someone else to gap close if you're a speed demon. But
he's got like pseudo control because Decrep slows so much. Like, he can play with people for a long time. He can survive for a long time and like delay, but if just depending on, enemy kits, if there's not any hard stuns on the other team, you can just like life drain while you're getting gone on by a couple people, or like decrep them. They can't hit you, or decrep yourself. I feel like he is high skill though.
I do think, while we're still on the topic of when to pick, we were talking about what to look for on your own team. I think you definitely want to have enemies that Pugna hard counters, or like counters, and those are basically physical damage dealing heroes. You want to see, your Troll Warlord, your Slark, your OD. Sven, yeah. Like Monkey King is the one that I personally love, that matchup mid. These are all heroes that the Decrep does insanely well against, like Terrorblade as well. Like, we know all these heroes. If you see one of those, or two certainly, then you can go right ahead and pick the Pugna. If you're going up against like spell damage heroes or heroes that don't care about like anti-mage or Lycan, who just are going to run away or go on you, or other heroes that don't really care that much about being decrept, like, I don't know, Conqueror, I guess, or like Ember Spirits has a lot of magic damage. These heroes don't really care. So I think he's he's kind of a specialist hero, right? He does always provide pushing, but a lot of games, later stages, decrep saves and decrep disarms are kind of the most OP part of the hero.
He is specialist, and I think he has got a high ceiling. But it's interesting you don't see more of him, because, like you say, against the physical damage dealers, 3.5 seconds save from decrep, that's going to be relevant in most games. And then even the Nether Ward, about how strong that is against enemy spellcasters, really strong. He's got push, he's got lots of damage output, but we don't see him, which is kind of interesting and suggests that he's somehow not quite fitting into the playstyle of common teams these days, or maybe pubbers and pros think he'd get, like, maybe not countered, but dealt with too easily or something. I'm not sure why his pick rate isn't more. Do you feel like it's surprisingly low? Or even in the pro scene, you never see him?
He's just one of those niche heroes that, like, he's pretty random. You know, you have some people that'll be like a platinum Pugna, and it's like, that's strange. You know? It's not like it's not like the people are like, I play Ember Spirit and Storm Spirit and OD. It's not like, yeah, I play Pugna and Lone Druid. I mean, it's like a, you know, Alliance 33 hero.
To be fair,
well, I was just going to say, I think in the pro scene, you see more balanced lineups. I mean, OG picked him in the finals like 3 times maybe. They were against TA Jug Tide cores. It's like, oh my goodness, this is the dream Pugna game. They're all just pure physical.
Yeah.
Whereas I think, especially at the moment, heroes like Void Spirit, very popular. Earthshaker, we mentioned, coming back in. Like, Earthshaker's kind of really a nightmare to play against as Pugna, because you get fissured from a million miles away. Sometimes that's all it takes and you're dead. If you can't decrep yourself, you're dying super quick. When OD's not that big, when OD's big, Pugna tends to be quite big. He's maybe the hardest counter to OD. So I wouldn't be surprised if his pick rate ticks up a bit in the pros. But
maybe. Another reason I'm thinking for why it might not be higher than you could think. So a big... thinking offensively, a facet obviously is his pushing power. Seemingly, well, it seems people don't really place much value on that aspect. And then thinking about his damage output, to be honest, it comes from Decrep, Neverblast, Life Drain. If you can interrupt that Life Drain or save someone from the Life Drain, it is just 2 spells. It's just like 1 damage output spell. When you think then, okay, well, what about a Lesh, where you can't stop him doing Omega or AoE damage, or a Void Spirit, always going to do mega damage. OD, drop a hammer, mega damage. From an offensive damage point of view, it seems like mids are always going to, or most often are always going to be more consistent. So that's a way to see him not being as favourable. But then on the defensive side, I think, yeah, it's probably more that aspect that is then what actually gets him picked, rather than these offensive points. So, yeah, your OG story is the Pugna's perfect, and like at the high level pubs, people probably pick him because it's situationally really strong.
I also think as Dota gets older as a game, and just also the current patch, a carry player isn't going to be afraid of just going second item BKB against a Pugna. Like, if there's a mid Pugna really getting out of control, it's like the PA will just go Dezo BKB, the troll will just go like Yasha BKB, you know. And sure, you still have decrep saves, but it means that the offensive part of the Pugna is kind of quite easy to nullify.
And then that makes him not really what your 2 wants to be, but as a 3...
because he could be a 4. If he's just casting decrep, it may as well just be a support. So it's kind of like, well, why'd you put him mid? So
I think as a 3 or 4, he is it's a cool concept and provides a very different kind of utility and a hero that would, what was his items be? You could easily just get like a pipe or something, or Aether Glimmer. I don't know. He could provide some utility items as well. So it's quite a cool pick to consider in the 3 or 4.
In terms of item builds, some people go super early Veil. I personally don't. I like to go, your Arcane Boots, turn it into Aether Lens. I like going back for Tranquils after that. You're just so insanely fast that it just feels amazing to play. After Aether, I've actually been really liking getting a Glimmer Cape, even as a mid. I think Glimmer how annoying is it playing against a Pugna when their carry or their offlane or their front line or whatever is being glimmered for 45% magic resistance for 5 seconds and decrept. It's like, oh my goodness, this Pugna just becomes a nightmare. He becomes like the top priority. And that's always good news for you, because in pubs, if the enemies have to kill one specific hero to win a fight, they're going to mess it up, like almost always. So I think I quite like Glimmer. Alternatively, if you're having a really good game, you can just go Dagon 5. There's nothing wrong with Dagon 5 on the hero. Or you can go, if you're 4 staffs. Marco mentioned Pipe. That's totally reasonable as well, especially if you're slipping into a 3 roll. You can go greedy and say go Aether Lens BOTs. I kind of prefer going Tranks, but it's definitely an option available to you. Hex, 4 staff, both fine.
Your Dagon shout reminds me of the insane EG E-Home, was it? With the Sumail...
Where they all built Dagon?
They all built Dagon and E-Blades. Was there a Pugna in that game, or did just everyone have an E-Blade?
I think everyone just had Dagon.
Everyone just built Dagon. Even like PPD, I think.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Someone had an E-Blade as well and just fucking...
This is the only way back into that game, so cheese.
Yeah. Also, to get now that EG's been mentioned, I've got to mention OG. Also, Dagon on Pugna reminds me of at TI8 LGD versus OG upper bracket final. The winner goes to the grand finals, and Topson played a Pugna and went Dagon 5 and blew up Arme completely out of vision in one shot him. And Toby was casting with Cinderind, and it was like, that was a fun moment. Pugna obviously being a Topson special, so I don't have to tell pub players to build Dagon. They already want to.
Yeah.
Skill build is kind of simple. We don't need to go over it. You can go Nether Blast level 1. I prefer Decrep, but it's up to you. Then after that, you kind of want to be maxing your blast. Then getting the Nether Ward, you can get it early. You can literally just leave it and go 4-4-0. Or you can slip it in at like level 8 or something. Depends the heroes that you're against. Talents, though, I'd be interested to hear your guys' opinions on this. I have my own. Level 10, the 20 movement speed versus 2-5 health.
Movement speed.
Movement speed.
If someone's on Pugna, or if you're disabled or stunned or controlled, all likelihood you're dead. So I don't really see too much value in the health, because with the movement speed, that's what this hero's all about. That mobility, swinging from lane to lane, being hard to get on top of in a fight because he is so in and out with his movement speed. Yeah, get that movement speed talent.
Yep, I'm in agreement. They're actually quite even pick rates. I agree, though. I much prefer movement speed. The hero just feels nicer. 15's kind of obvious. If you're in a game against, say, an OD, maybe Nether Ward is just really, really strong and it feels great. But almost always you want Nether Blast cooldown, right? It just makes your hero better. 1 second less. It's already a low cooldown. You're reducing it from 5 to 4. It's pretty strong. 20. What would your advice be to pub players? Plus 2 second decrepify duration or plus 25 life drain heal? Both of these are kind of dangerous talents, right? Do you really want your pub teammates to be decrepping targets for 2 seconds longer?
That's a funny one to consider. I hadn't thought of that. Life drain heal, so it doesn't affect your damage. It just means you heal people 25% more.
And you don't lose. You lose the same amount, so it's just a straight bonus.
I
just think the decrep is so strong.
Yeah.
If you're giving players the benefit of the doubt, then
I feel like the only time I could think of I mean, maybe in a normal game, the life drain heal is used a lot, and therefore the 25% will always be value. I was thinking of this anecdote of a void with BKB Chrono's one of your heroes, and you life drain heal from outside the Chrono, and the talent does the work it needs to. I don't know. I think the decrep duration is just too good.
Yeah, one thing to consider about the decrep duration is sometimes you don't want like a 5-second decrep when you're saving one of your allies. Like one of your allies gets gone on your one of your carries, and you decrep them. They actually can't get stuck in for 5 seconds unless they have a BKB.
They can't
even then,
right click. They can still spells or items.
Yeah, they can. But I'm just thinking if you've got, say, your carry PA or whatever, you save them with decrep.
Use it on them.
Well, if they're getting gone on, you do. If you're trying to save them, you decrep life drain them, the target that they're going on. But yeah, it's a niche situation, I suppose.
I mean, if they're getting beat up by someone, ideally decrep the enemy. If the enemy's right clicking, but if the enemy is BKB'd, I don't know. I feel like it's rare that you're going to be decrepping the core.
I haven't seen my replays, mate. Saving people left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
The 25 talent's a little bit easier, I would say. Plus 1.75 Nether Ward damage per mana, or plus 200 Nether Blast damage. This is a no-brainer. Nether Blast damage is insane. It increases the blast damage to 525. That's not amplified by decrep.
Yeah, just to be able to slap a wave out the way in one go is real value, just the pace.
Yeah.
And then half that damage to towers. Very strong. An extra 100 damage to towers.
Right, okay.
Every 4 seconds, because you've got your Nether Blast cooldown talent.
Yeah. Very insane, very insane. Anything else you guys want to say on Pugna, this hero?
Did we talk about the ward at all?
No, let's talk about the ward, because it's kind of an interesting spell.
I don't think you put points in it early, but late game it's really annoying.
It's got really high uptime. Once it's destroyed, it's like kind of very soon to be back. I'm trying to read how long it lasts. I can't find it, but it's on a 35 second. Yeah, it lasts 30, and it's on a 35-second cooldown.
That's pretty
basically
good.
Constantly uptime.
The classic enemy team picks Skywrath, you pick Pugna.
Yeah, that's a funny one. That matchup's so weird. Such a weird matchup there. It's like, oh, what, am I seriously maxing a Nether Blast, a Nether Ward, and just so weird. I hate that matchup. Nether Ward interactions to mention. Storm. People think it looks good against Storm because it's like a lightning bolt that follows him, but actually doesn't deal any damage to him. Correct?
Sounds correct. Because he's invulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how it works. Incredible against OD, obviously, and any hero with high mana cost spells. I mean, it's very simple. People can kill themselves. I'm telling you, I've seen Enigmas blink Black Hole and kill themselves.
Well, the thing is that it deals the damage before the spell goes off.
Yeah.
So they just die before they even get the cast.
It is a strong spell. Also, you can decrep it, of course. Don't forget that one. You can bait people a little bit if you're really feeding yourself. Put it in a vulnerable position, wait for them to come out, and then that's like could be kills if your team's ready. Yeah, that's Pugna though. I would say I think he's definitely a fun hero. I would say not a very popular one as well, which kind of makes him a bit more cool. If you pick him up, it makes you feel cool when you win a game on Pugna. The hero looks cool. He's got cool sets.
Yeah, the BZZ Pugna set, very cool.
Very cool. Golden Immortals. But yeah. Any closing thoughts for EP 77?
What's Pugna's name?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't. I think it's Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Is that right?
I do not know.
All the Dota 1 playing listeners screaming at their iPhones or whatever they're listening on. Well, anyway, on that anticlimactic note...
It's going to make me look up Pugna lore.
Alright, let's see.
Is his name just Pugna?
We're probably we're losing like 5 listeners a second, turning off. They're like, there's no more content coming. They're just scrambling for Pugna's name.
I think it was a trick question. I think he asked, what is Pugna's name? And it turns out Pugna's name is Pugna.
Oh, really?
Wouldn't that make sense? Boring. He wouldn't be Pugna the Pugna. You know what I mean?
He might be Pugna the Oblivion or something. Come message us on Discord. What is Pugna's name? First person to give a correct answer gets a prize, gets a shout out on the pod.
Here's a pog, though, is Pugna owned Viper as a pet. That's pretty cool.
That's very cool. I want a voice line to spam against Viper players. Now Viper does kind of own Pugna a bit, I think.
Yeah.
Does he? Yeah, I think he does a bit. If you decrep yourself and you get altered, it's kind of bad news for you. But yeah, that's episode 77. We'll be back next week. And until then, happy hunting. Get your Slardar MMR while it's hot.